In terms of this U.S.-China meeting tomorrow night, from a market standpoint, what would be the definition of success?
Well, clearly, the market really wants resolution of this Chinese problem. I don't think it's going to happen at this meeting. I think the history is, honestly, Trump doesn't like these multilateral meetings or conferences. He's like a one-on-one guy, and likes to announce things like that. And it's also, he's more of a brinksman. In other words, let's go closer to the January 1st deadline rather than a month earlier. Now, that being said, if President Xi and President Trump exchange just kind words, we're working on the problem, I mean, that is encouraging, certainly, to the market. But I would be surprised, and listen, I'm prepared to be surprised when President Trump is entering into any negotiation. I would be surprised if we got anything definitive between China and the U.S. out of this meeting.
Professor, how should investors be prepared to be surprised? How should they be positioned, given how big this weekend is, potentially?
Well, I think what's interesting is that the words of Jay Powell, Fed chairman, on Wednesday have sort of taken that worry of Fed over-tightening down a number of notches. So what is next on the agenda? It is the tariff war, or potential tariff war with China. So clearly, any sort of resolution there is going to be positive. Let me also say that the market expects it. It's not a slam dunk, but I think it's probably 80 to 90% baked in. So any adverse developments, and I don't expect any particular to come out of this meeting, would be a great disappointment. And certainly, if it isn't solved by the end of the year, if it isn't solved by the end of the year, the market will tolerate an extension of current levels without the ramping up. But it certainly would be getting nervous if it didn't see any progress then.
And so, given that, Jeremy, if we don't get any kind of a definitive statement or movement in trade from G20 over the weekend, what matters more, the small signals or the bullish signals that we've seen out of some growth stocks, including Workday, VMware? The tech sector has meant a lot to this extended rally that we had seen on Wall Street. There have been some questions about how long-lived that would be, but thus far, a lot of these stocks seem to be showing increasingly positive signals about what they expect from 2019.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw Trump this morning with Mexico and Canada and being very conciliatory and very positive, which is a good sign. And I think the market is hoping for that same sort of conciliation with President Xi and saying we are working on problems. And he said, I think we will reach a solution. If he has those words, I think we will reach a solution. That's going to pump up the market, clearly. But certainly, I would be surprised if we saw that definitive solution actually reached at this point. I mean, they were miles away on so many things in the original set of negotiations. But clearly, the market is hopeful for a positive tone coming out of the interactions.